EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Detroit! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Here we go now. 319. 319.
Throwing on first down. Nicholson. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively.
He's second in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Nicholson lets it fly for Thielen. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen, and he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now Cohen. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Ben Gideon in on the stop.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
Hey, 18.
From the shotgun is Trubisky. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up fourth.
And third down is a key down in any game you play, and third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Looking to throw on second down. Nicholson. He's got his man on the crossing route. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His fourth touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. The extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, second and 10. Second and 10 now. It's Trubisky. And incomplete on the deep ball. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up third and 10. On third down, Trubisky. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So first and 10 now from the 30. On first and 10, Nicholson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. Third and long.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep a defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Hurry up, here we go.
Throwing on third and long. Nicholson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Off the toss, Cohen. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Throw left side complete. That's Burton. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. So finally completes his first pass. Credit the defense, though. They've been showing him some different looks, keeping him off balance.
Yeah, I like the observation that you had there, because when you give him different looks and give any quarterback different looks, it takes just a little bit longer to process sometimes, and you don't throw the ball with the same confidence. You're not sure that that's where you should go with the football, and that's worked for the defense early in this game, and now he's got his first completion. Let's see if his confidence comes back, and he starts to get into a nice little groove.
Play action. Now Trubisky. His throw caught at about the 5. And he's brought down. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They'll run forward to Cohen, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Move, move. Hey, 18, 18, 18. Move, move.
Throwing here, Trubisky. And, oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Forced out to his left. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They run again on first down. Cook. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Detroit!
On first down, Nicholson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Nicholson. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. A nice little juke. And they will score a pick six for Bears touchdown. Yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski, okay? Oski was an interception.
For different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a three-syllable word.
Yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go.
To throw on 2nd down, Nicholson. Gonna let it fly for Rudolph. Oh, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. On 3rd down, Nicholson. And he comes back with one complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Leopard! Hey. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Off play action. Nicholson. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, with the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Throwing on 3rd and long. Nicholson trying to lay one up deep. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. And I do believe this is going to wind up a safety. It is. It's a safety. How about that for a wacky play? Wow, what a disaster. You talk about a guy making a good play on the interception and then just trying to be too cute on the return.
It almost felt like his own gyroscope really got out of whack, didn't it? Going backwards into your own end zone after such a great play. Totally disoriented and gave up 2 points for his team.
And an alley to run. And out now come the Vikings. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They start the drive with Cook. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Detroit! Detroit!
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Operating from the gun. Nicholson, open man is Thielen. It's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Thielen with his first catch, and it's a 1st down. A give. This is Cook. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now a first carry for their fullback. Got some real estate inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings! It's the fullback, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. And I want to give the big guys some credit because he deserves it, but where was the defense there? Because he's not a burner.
I think they fooled him big time by handing him the football. It's not normal for him to touch it very often on a running play. I think the defense was just ill-prepared for that eventuality.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Now Trubisky to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 42 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. From the red zone now, here's Trubisky on 1st down. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. This is Cohen on the toss. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches.
18.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Flushed out right. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And now out comes Minnesota. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down. Nicholson dancing to his left. Left side caught by Diggs. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
No, check, Patriot. Now let's go. Green, 39.
On 1st and 10, Nicholson. And he finds a man on a crossing route. 4 seconds left, and there's the timeout. In field goal range and a chance to tack on 3 before intermission. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, this from 33. And this one is no good. He missed it. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there, just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Check 26. Blue. Gotta go.
They'll start things on first with Torrey Cohen. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Again, it's Cohen. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Hands up. There you go, we go. You see it? You see it? Hands up. Hey, back 52. Back 52. Hands up.
And the blitz does come. On the completion, this is Carey. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
On 2nd down, Trubisky. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The Bears on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
18.
Now it's Trubisky. He's going to air one out. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They run it again with Cook. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Cook, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
All right, now, lucky 56.
Looking to throw on second down. Nicholson, he's going to launch this thing way downfield. That's caught at the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 39 that time. By the way, they're into the second half now in Philadelphia on the NFL scoreboard. And the 49ers have moved out in front in that game. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. On 1st down, Nicholson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down.
Now let's go!
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Pretty move. Now a hit and a loose football. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
As that ball got away from him and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
On the ground, it's Cook. And some space here. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's a give to Richard. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It was the linebacker Leonard Floyd on the stop.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
To throw on second down. Nicholson. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away this timing.
And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be, 38 yards out. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the fourth.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation.
And this is caught at the 20. A huge play there for Chicago. 59 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people play.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Trey Burton, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears draw a bit closer. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it? Touchdowns.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Now let's go.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Gun! No, check, Patriot! No, check, Patriot! Gun!
Looking to throw on second down. Nicholson steps away to his left. Going deep for Diggs. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, Nicholson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Red, up. There we go. You see it? You see it?
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. Going to throw right side here, complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. They come up on a 1st and goal and most likely 4-down territory as they need a touchdown and the PAT for the lead. Now it's Trubisky. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I don't think we'll have to look very hard to find our play of the game. That was an absolutely monstrous big play right there. Backs to the wall. The offense has it in the red zone, driving for the winning score. And he says, not on my watch. And that is one happy bunch on the sidelines.
Now a handoff to Richard. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On the ground, Richard. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Richard. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively.
Detroit!
This is Richard. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Operating from the gun, Nicholson. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? He'll look to throw. And this is going to be a safety as Trubisky gets swallowed up in the end zone. And that disastrous play, partner, is ultimately going to seal their fate in this one, isn't it?
It certainly is, because they give up the 2 points, but that's not really what did it. It's having to give up the football. And because they gave up the football, guess what? The other team now can take the ball and close this game out.
They can't tackle it. And now out comes Minnesota. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
Now, Barney. Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Hut.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Hut.
Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So So for Minnesota, it's a win they needed, if for nothing else than their sanity, as they move to 4-6. And they will head home next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for the Bears, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll have a quick turnaround as they're back in action Thursday at noon Eastern for the traditional Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.